Alrighty, welcome back to Net to Net podcast with your hosts Sam Kelty, Casey Kirsch, and Caleb Kirsch. Today we are back with another soccer podcast. I know it's been a couple weeks since we've done one. Been quite busy, but we're back. So first things first, we're gonna talk about the Premier League, and we're gonna swing it over to Casey.
Yeah, we've had some interesting things in these past few weeks. I would just like to highlight two things. First of all, Man City, of course, as we thought, they're dominant. No one can compete with them, and they've gained every single point that they were able to this season. The other thing I would like to bring up is a member of this panel's team and how dreadful they have been over this past few weeks. And that would be none other than Sam Kelty's Chelsea. And as you see now, he has gone missing. Chelsea have gone missing these past few weeks. That includes a 1-0 loss to Aston Villa, a 0-0 draw to AFC Bournemouth, and a 1-0 loss to Nottingham Forest. Chelsea scoring 0 goals in the last 3 weeks is the thing that I've been thinking of. And whether that could be Nkuku's injury, or Mudrik's injury, or Nico Jackson not being able to finish anything, even if it was served on a plate for him, Chelsea have just looked horrible this season, okay? And although their stats haven't been the worst in the Prem, they're 9th in shots, 10th on shots on target, they're 14th in goals, okay? Although they're 2nd in passes, but guess what? Doesn't translate. I think that Poch is really stirring up some Chelsea fans here, and they're really trying to defend him. Oh, give the squad some time. They're young, blah, blah, blah. But, all these contracts are going to come back to bite them in the end when they're not able to spend money in the future. And although they got all Liverpool's targets, we were talking about this before the show. They got Caicedo and they got Lavia and all these other people that Liverpool wanted. Did Liverpool dodge a bullet? Because right now they're in 2nd place on 16 points in 6 games. So I don't know. We kind of ragged on Liverpool for a bit, but Chelsea got all their targets. We made fun of them. But look who is where in the table. That's all I got to say.
Yeah, transfer window FC ends up losing a game to a team that in Villa who hasn't had the best start this year, and as well as only beating Luton Town, who is on track record to be the worst Premier League team in Premier League history. So it's honestly funny. There was about a couple weeks of Chelsea fans being on Twitter, blabbing their mouths every day. Oh, we won the transfer window. Oh, we own Liverpool. And they did get a lucky draw against us off of a flick header. So, it's bound to happen every time we play them. It's a draw for some reason. But whenever they manage to play anyone else, it's an embarrassment pretty much, except for Luton Town. So, out of $1 billion spent, $1 billion, they cannot even score against Bournemouth. It's honestly hilarious to me. And the thing is, I was thinking about this while I was driving the other day. If Chelsea managed to keep losing, which I haven't brought up, something that I will bring up in a second, but if they don't manage to pick this up and they do go down or something like that, that would be one of the most embarrassing things in sports history to ever happen. Now, let me bring this up really quick. Chelsea have had the easiest schedule so far this whole Premier League season out of anyone in the entire league. And they haven't even scored a goal this month. They would have to go to their women's team or their youth teams to have a goal of the month. That's how embarrassing they've been this month. And the thing is, their hardest part of the schedule is coming up where they have to play Man U. They have to play Brighton. They have to play a bunch of these teams that are up in the top half of the table. And if they don't pick up their slack here, they will be in a relegation battle down with Sheffield, Luton, and the rest of the teams. It's honestly so interesting to see. And honestly, the more time that goes by where Chelsea aren't doing well, Poch is really in the hot seat because, as we've known for the past couple of years, Chelsea does not keep hold of managers for very long. Even if they're doing okay in the league, they will still fire them. Poch is in the hot seat if he keeps doing.
Hey,
if he
Frank
keeps
Lampard's
losing.
happy, that's for sure. Frank Lampard is coming in for a mid-season for his third season in a row.
It's possible. It's possible.
Sam, what are your thoughts about all this Chelsea talk and how their season has been an utter disappointment?
Yeah. So Chelsea, the week before they played Bournemouth, they were missing 12 players due to injury and illness, which can affect how your team does if you're missing 12 players. But against Aston Villa, there was no excuse. It was a poor performance from us. It's a young team and it's a new squad. So there's gonna be these growing pains throughout the season, and we should all know that it's happening. I believe in my predictions. I didn't even have Chelsea in the top four. I think I had them in like 5 or 6. To be honest, I can't even remember. That's so long
I
ago.
think it was 4, if I'm not mistaken.
It was 4 or 5. It was one of those. But Chelsea, it's a young team. It's a whole new squad, a new coach, new system. It's going to take time to gel. Since we've been in this rebuilding mode, and every team goes through it at one point, and it takes a few years. You have to be bought into this thing, and like you guys said, that Chelsea doesn't have a ton of managers stay for that long. With even in the Abramovich era and in the Todd Bowley era, we've seen coaches leave in and out a lot. Last year, like you said, we had Tuchel, we had Potter, and we had Lampard, and technically Bruno Salataro, who took over one game, and then they replaced him with Lampard. I know Salataro actually just got his contract terminated as an assistant, so he's no longer with the team because he was an assistant coach at the time. And you forget that we are missing Reece James. We are missing Nkunu, Wesley Fofana with an ACL tear. Lavia, who was supposed to play a big piece, got injured. He's out 6 weeks with a knee injury. Hopefully he comes back soon. Hopefully everybody comes back. I know the only one that's probably not going to come back anytime soon is Wesley Fofana because he had another ACL tear, which is unfortunate. But, yeah, Chelsea, not looking good. We need to get goals. Nkunu was supposed to be that one to create those and help Nico Jackson because you saw in preseason and they looked electric. They looked unstoppable playing the likes against some Premier League teams like Brighton and Aston Villa, who we should beat. But it's the regular season. It's the actual season. Teams are actually trying more than they did in preseason. Preseason, it was just about getting minutes, about getting fitness back up. And when Premier League started, actually, then it's when teams are trying their hardest. And it's going to be a long year for Chelsea. I don't expect much from it. Honestly, it wouldn't be shocking if we miss out on Champions League or Europa League again. And maybe that's a good thing because then we can focus more in certain areas, trying to get our team back together. And then to answer your first question, because we really didn't touch on it, about City's dominance through the first, 3 or 4 weeks, 5 weeks at this point. City,
six
even
games,
6 weeks, 6 weeks, even getting a red card last game and still dominating the game, playing 10 men. City is unstoppable. There's no team that I see could contend with City in the Premier League. Not even Liverpool, not even United, not even Arsenal. Arsenal might be the closest because they have the talent, they have the complete team. I think they're more complete than Liverpool or United or Tottenham or Chelsea or any of those, Newcastle. Arsenal's the closest, but you've seen from City, Haaland's picking where he's left off. Julian Alvarez is playing more of that cam role for De Bruyne, with De Bruyne being out. And I thought losing De Bruyne early on in the season was going to be huge, but it really hasn't affected the way they played. You look at the likes of they didn't have Stones for some part of the season, but it doesn't really matter because Man City is literally can just plug and play. I think what they did bringing in Jeremy Doku this offseason was a great signing. It brings more depth to their wingers. He's young. We all thought he was linked to gonna go to Liverpool. He was linked for them for a while, but then ended up going.
That was a while ago.
Yeah, he was linked with Liverpool for a while, and then City goes out and gets him. They pull the trigger on him. And when you have the likes of Jack Grealish come off your bench, wow, that's how deep City is. Vardiol, who's mainly a center back, he's been playing left back. He looks unbelievable since coming to the Premier League. I know a lot of people said, I know a lot of you boys said that he's your signing of the year for the Premier League. Vardiol, so good. I wish Chelsea went after him. I wish Real Madrid went after him, but he decided to go with the champs in City, which honestly is not actually a bad idea because he goes to a team that's proven winners, knows how to win in the Premier League. They've done it every year except for a couple years. But the team is just stacked, like down at every position. You have getting Mateus Nunes, another guy that was linked to Liverpool last year and this year early in the window, but goes to City. So I like what City's done there. They're going to repeat no matter what. They played Nottingham Forest. You're going to lose when you're playing Serge Aurier at center back. Yes, Matt Turner's a decent keeper, but you're not going to stop Haaland. You're not going to stop Foden. You won't stop those guys. Turner's an okay keeper. Yeah, they played Nottingham Forest. City hasn't played anyone that great, but they're still running through teams like everybody doesn't exist in the Premier League at this point.
Yeah, I mean, Kale, what are your thoughts on City this season? Do you think? I mean, we all predicted that City would win it all, but do you think Liverpool has a shot to compete with them?
Yeah, we have a shot. We've done it. We've done it a couple times, going neck and neck with them. We're literally not even winning by 1 point in the league, and so there's obviously like a slighter chance that we do it, but I would say it's still the onus is on them, just based on who they have, how much money they've spent, and just their system in general. It's tough because we have been really good this year. We haven't lost. We haven't really had a bad half other than a couple first halves. But in the second half, we would turn it on. We've won 3-1 a couple times in a row now. It's kind of funny. But, if there is a slight chance, I'm still hoping that we can do it. But we have to be consistent, just as consistent as them, because they're already 2 points ahead of us because of our draw in the first game, and they haven't really lost yet. So it's tough for any team to compete with them. Look at Arsenal last year; they ended up being in first place, and then the form faltered at the end, and they just capitulated. So, which we did that, I believe, 2018 season where we were ahead for most of the season, and then they came back and won it. So it's tough, with a team that as consistent as them, and then also gets so far has gotten away with a lot of charges, a lot of money spent that shouldn't have been spent, a lot of things that happened that haven't been charged on them. So yeah, I would say we have a good chance. Arsenal has a chance, but I'd still keep it on them.
Yeah, well, we don't know if those charges have been confirmed yet, but we're still waiting.
Come to the defense.
Come to the defense. Innocent until proven guilty.
True.
Innocent until proven guilty. That's how it should be.
I'm sorry.
If they're guilty, but they should lose a bunch of points. Maybe, obviously transfer windows. They've maybe Champions League, something like that, but we'll see. So we'll move into the fixtures.
Wait. I want to stay on this really quick. I want to say one more thing about it because we haven't seen charges of this amount in football history that I know of. I'm not sure if that's ever happened, but on my lifetime, I've never seen it this drastic. And let's say it goes to a jury, right? You think that they're gonna wave away 115 in a row, saying they're all not true? I find that hard to believe. I find it very likely they get charged if they have a fair trial. We can move on, though.
I don't know. I'll just make one last point. I would say that, yeah, they might get charged with a few things, but we don't know But we don't know the facts of it all.
Well, yeah, I wish we had all the evidence out here. I don't. Yeah, we don't have all the evidence, but if there's someone's coming up with 115 charges against you, I'd say you're pretty likely going to jail.
But how much of those are actually true? Let's be real. We have to think about that. Half of these could be made up. Like 90% of them could be made up, and they're just trying to extort. That's just the thing.
It's the Premier League. It's not like it's some random person.
Like Casey said, proven until guilty. We don't know how. We don't have all the facts. We don't have everything. We don't have A, B, C, D. We have like A, G, X, W. We have bits and pieces of what is actually true and what is actually false. Like he said, proven until guilty. They haven't been proven anything. There just been speculation and charges that are brought up, and they're still undergoing their further review. So, if anything will probably happen, it'll probably be what happened with Juventus, and it's a point deduction. That's probably what's going to be.
Was it as drastic as Juventus? I'd say more drastic. Transfer ban. It's more drastic than Juventus.
You're saying know, we don't know.
Well, wait.
We
You're
have
saying
no idea, dude.
Cheating on buying Youth Academy is worse than.
That's not all that they cheated on. You think it's just Youth Academy? There's 115 charges.
Yeah, mostly with youth. It wasn't with the actual first team. It was more of with the academy. And second of all,
and their sponsorships and their spending practices. And their spending practices.
You think that's worse than betting? That you think that's worse than betting on your own team to lose games?
Well,
and to throw the integrity of the league away?
Well, personally,
the competitions that you're in.
Sure. My thoughts on betting is it shouldn't be allowed regardless, and it's also on half the jersey sponsorships and on every all the stadiums. So the fact that football has allowed this to creep in. Hold on. All this betting has creeped into the sport, so no wonder teams are going to take advantage of it. I'm against it strongly. Also, I don't remember them doing it 115 times like City has, while they consistently win titles, and they won a treble last year with all this money spent and the people running the club that have been cheating for 10 straight years. That's what you guys don't understand.
But we don't know if they've been cheating.
Yeah, exactly. And also with the Juventus thing is when Juventus got caught cheating for betting and they got relegated to Serie B, it wasn't legal then. You didn't see that in soccer. You didn't see the names with the betting.
They don't have betting back then?
It wasn't sponsored. It wasn't sponsored betting until it became legal more recently. In our time. Back then it wasn't betting like that.
I think sports betting would be a good debate for the future.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I'm not sure how to respond. I'm not sure how to respond to that because I'm not sure if that's accurate information.
Very accurate. You haven't seen sports and betting until recently because most of the time it's been illegal.
Or at least legal betting.
Yeah, legal betting. Like it hasn't been a thing. Like now we're starting to see it, but now we're seeing a lot of it. Like yes, Brentford had a sponsorship with betting on their jersey last year. They don't have that anymore because of the whole betting incident.
That's what I was saying about it.
Betting hasn't been betting illegally isn't as big, or betting legally is a big thing now. Back then when Juve got caught, it wasn't. That's what we're saying. Like what is being said.
I would just like to say sports betting has been around for a while.
Sports betting has been around for a while, but it hasn't been
not mainstream or anything.
Not mainstream. It's the same thing with social media. Social media hasn't been wasn't big back then. That's the comparison. Social media wasn't big back then.
Well, when's back then?
Back when, whenever Juve got caught, what was it, 2000? 2000.
Yeah, I don't think social media was really a thing. That was more like chat rooms and things like that.
Yeah, exactly. Social media, Facebook was around.
2000? No.
MySpace was around.
I think maybe MySpace
that's social media, but it wasn't as huge as what we're talking, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, and stuff like that.
I don't know how our conversation got to that point, but all I'm saying is, if you were put in the courtroom right now for 115 counts, I'd say you're highly, highly, highly likely that you get convicted. Highly likely.
Depends on the facts.
Because if you get one of those things, then you're charged. Then it's official. You are convicted. If it's
one charge gets all 115 convicted. I don't.
No.
Kale,
Okay,
but one
and
charge that they
a
make the
jury,
visit for
and a
could be
jury.
a $10,000 fine, dude. It might not
Yeah.
be that much stuff. Like
It could be literally
Well, then that
$10,000
proves that
fine.
they cheated. That means that's all I'm trying to say is, if you are put in a courtroom with 115 charges and the jury has to decide all together, hey, did this person commit this crime? Did they commit this crime? Then it's very likely that at least one, which you guys are making it seem like that it's 90% fakers. What I just heard is 90% of them apparently are fake, and they're all just youth academy players, which still go to the first team in many instances. That's what all I'm saying is, if a team consistently is winning and they have 115 charges on their back, I'd say there's pretty some suspect stuff. But to answer your question, yeah, they're probably going to win the league. We're probably going to get second or third with maybe Arsenal and then whoever else. That's all I'm going to say on that.
Okay. Well, we can move on from here. That was we can definitely have half an episode or a full episode on sports.
No, I just need to do like a research topic on that and just go on figuring out exactly all the stuff that Sam was talking about with Juve and how that worked, because we were babies then. Like it's hard to judge that.
It's the thing I just looked up. It just says the ban was overturned and a fine was reduced to $10 million, so 8.9 million pounds.
Is that Juve?
No, that was City.
Oh,
that was
because I know FIFA was investigating, and then something happened where they didn't keep going, and then now the Premier League picked it up. Which it is kind of. I mean, the Premier League should have been on it quicker because it's
it wasn't available to UEFA because it didn't have to. It was weird.
Was it UEFA, not FIFA?
It's the Premier League now, but it was UEFA.
Before I think it was.
But nothing's came of it.
So as long as nothing,
they just paid a fine. That's all.
As long as nothing to make it a faulty trial happens, I think they're pretty likely to be convicted then.
But also then it says like a 3-man panel cleared City of most serious charges and overstating revenues by the majority verdict.
Overstating revenues, okay.
Yeah. And then majority of the verdict of the panel cleared them not guilty.
Well, here we are today. I don't know. Whenever this trial happens, I need to watch it because hopefully it's televised.
Do some coverage on the channel. Do it live,
I would totally go there and just
what
ask
are
people.
We just gonna make another? Are we gonna make an Amber? The Amber Heard.
Yeah, like that level of coverage. That level of
coverage. I remember just being at work and we just had it on.
Yeah, no, it was a huge story. I mean, in terms of football sense, a trial, you haven't really seen one this drastic since Juve. So
the OJ trial of football.
And that is another thing. That is another point. I kind of would be interested to see if our audience would like to see us actually go to matches and interview people or check out things like that or go and interview whatever, because we have opinions and we voice it on the show, but there's other people that don't have their voices put on that maybe we want to talk to. I live close to the Columbus Crew Stadium, so if we did kind of an interview thing, that would be kind of interesting.
Yeah, we could do that.
And Sam, you're close to 2 teams as well, so
yeah,
that could be something to explore. I mean, if you scroll on like social media, you see people going to games and just interviewing people, asking questions, or doing like the footy tic-tac-toe thing, which I find really fun to do. And like on the app or whatever on the website, it's kind of fun to do. So just pique people's minds, because not everyone gets a chance to voice their opinion online. So
yeah, we can move into this week's matches. So we'll start off with a pick of the week for the match that you watched and that you thought was the most interesting and something you want to talk about. For me, I think it's pretty obvious. The biggest match of this week was Newcastle versus Sheffield United. 8-0 win with 8 different goal scorers, something that hasn't ever been done in Newcastle history. And I think it was their biggest win in their team's history, beating Sheffield, a team with Only 1 point so far in the Prem, sitting in last place. But yeah, eight different goal scorers, and they just looked too dominant in this game. It just was over from the start, even from the 12th minute or the 21st minute when they scored. It was already over at that point. Like, there was no chance. And although they only had 58% possession, they just looked way too dominant. They had 22 shots, 15 on target. When you have 15 shots on target, you're bound to get a lot of goals, and when you give up those, good luck stopping it, really. Yeah, but when Sheffield only has 1 shot on target to compare, it was just over from the beginning. I know I had some Newcastle players in my fantasy team. I was very happy about this, and watching the game, it was just, it was over, and there was nothing that they could do. Just Newcastle's too much quality. They're too well balanced. They have too many great subs, and they just have good players every position, like we've talked about. That's why I picked them to be, I think, 4th or 5th in my predictions. But I think they're only in 8th right now. But if they can play like they did this past Saturday against other teams, I know they lost to Liverpool, Caleb's team. Even though they looked the better team the whole game.
They had that game won.
Yeah,
they just
they looked the better
blew it
team
at the end. There's some
Nunez
bad subs.
comes in, super sub, and it was over. But Newcastle, I know, Sam, I'm pretty sure you picked them top 3, but they're a squad to be reckoned with. And they showed it here, that's for sure. Eddie Howe is...
Yeah, and not even say, like, Newcastle, like, they didn't even start Tonali.
Yep.
Anthony Gordon has looked electric since he's made the move. People wrote him off at Everton. He goes to Newcastle. He's started 6 games. He got 2 goals, 2 assists in 5 matches, or 6 matches, 5 started, which is pretty good. Like, and you think that he was gonna not start over Harvey Barnes, and now they've been starting Anthony Gordon. He's just looked electric. Almiron got a goal, which was good to see. He's starting off his tally. Longstaff has looked good since returning to the squad, and it's shocking. Like, they didn't have Tonali starting, which I thought was shocking. It kind of made sense due to them playing Champions League football in the weekday. Livermento got a run in from Southampton as well, and not even starting Isak, but starting Callum Wilson. You know your team's good when you have 2 quality strikers that would probably start on most teams. Like
Callum Wilson could start on half the Premier League
teams.
Yeah,
he could. He definitely could.
Yeah,
he's very good. And like you said, Newcastle. I knew that game was going to be over once it kicked off. I just didn't know it was going to be 8 goals.
Yeah, if only Chelsea could do that to a bottom 3 team.
Yeah, I wish. I wish. Ugh.
Yeah, so I'd say for my game of the week that I watched, I'm tempted to say a Liverpool game, but I'm gonna go with the Atleti versus Real Madrid game. I thought that was just like a game that it always provides some sort of controversy. It always provides some sort of storyline, and I didn't manage to see the beginning, but I turned it on, and a couple minutes later, just Toni Kroos's unreal long-range shot, and the way that he was able to control the ball up in the air, flick it past the player, and just unload on the goal, and Oblak had nothing to do. It was simply just great football right there. It was just amazing to watch, and Toni Kroos has a history of making some unreal goals from outside the box. We've seen him do it in the World Cup for 2018 World Cup against Sweden, where he just rockets that thing in. We've seen him score from corners. Like, the guy has a wide variety of long range that he can do, and that was something that I was really excited to see, because even though I'm not a Madrid fan, I do admire Toni Kroos's play. I think he is one of the best in the world still, and he doesn't honestly get talked about as much as he should. But on to Atleti though. They were just Atleti, peak Atleti. Getting in the faces and making huge tackles, strong, tough tackles that it's just that Atleti culture since Simeone's been there. It's just that grit, that fight that, some people don't like to see it. When Atleti's firing, they're a fun team to watch most of the time. When they're just, sitting back, it depends on their tactics, I would say. if they're playing against your team, you never like Atleti. But if they're playing a team you don't like, it's something that is interesting to watch. And yeah, so Oblak and the defense did their job mostly. Madrid didn't have a real out and out striker. They're kind of playing Bellingham higher up, even more higher up than he did with prior games, and then especially with Dortmund. And Rodrigo kind of was leading the line for most of the time on his own, and that's a tough thing to do for him because he's not an out and out striker, and then he's not the strongest, toughest guy to have on your team. He's more of a skillful, quick winger. So yeah, I would say that this game just had all of it laid out, and I would say just peak La Liga right there. I would say.
La Liga's back. Sam, what's your pick of the week? I'm assuming you're not going to say Madrid.
No, I'm not. I will not be saying.
You gonna pick Barca?
No. So I did not know we were picking outside the Premier League for our pick of the weeks. But I was keeping mine within the Premier League.
That's fine. I just thought it would be too easy to just pick Liverpool.
Yeah. See, I went with North London Derby.
Okay.
I went with the North London Derby, a classic match. Two teams that hate each other. Big storylines everywhere. David Raya starting for Ramsdale again. Is that a sign that Ramsdale's out? We don't know. I would love to hear it in the comments. If Ramsdale's done and we're leaning on David Raya, because that's a big move. Arsenal decided to be smart for once and not start Kai Havertz. They decided to play Fabio Vieira, who is way better. I'm glad it took you 6 weeks to finally figure that one out. Congratulations, Mikel Arteta.
Spent so much money on him. I mean, they kind of
let's give Mikel Arteta Manager of the Month now. Let's give it to him. But yeah, they finally decided to become smart people and do that. You have a great back line, Zinchenko, underrated outside back. Doesn't get a lot of credit. We always talk about Robertson and being the best left back in the Premier League. Zinchenko's been underrated and very undervalued, I think, for a long time. Like, we don't give him his flowers. Gabriel and Saliba look like the last year's center backs that we saw. Yes, they let in 2 goals, but it's a rival game. There's gonna be scoring. Saka and Ketia and Jesus up front, pretty good, like usual. And then from the team that, honestly, no one saw this coming. Tottenham being good without Harry Kane. I think Casey saw it, but that was really it. That was really it. None of us called it. Casey called it.
That was with Harry Kane, though, to be fair.
Yeah, that was with Harry Kane. Son bagged 2 goals. Great to see it. Brendan Johnson got a run. James Maddison played well. The team looked good. Like, I'm not gonna lie. Like, I don't know what Otte's doing over there. He's getting the team fired up. I know Richarlison, who is their number 9, has been struggling of late, which is sad to see because he's a very good, talented player. Hopefully, he can find his form. I know he's been struggling. I saw in reports that he hired a psychologist to help him out because he's going through a rough time. Hopefully he can get back to what he is. But honestly, no one saw Tottenham being this good. Like, I believe, what are they in the standings? I think they're in the top 4, I believe.
They're 4th right now.
4th? Yeah, 4th. Yep, they're in 4th. They're only 2 points behind Liverpool, 1 point behind Brighton. Can Tottenham push for 2nd?
Hey, you think Coach of the Year is on the way? Because that was my prediction.
I can see Coach of the Year if this keeps up.
You think Son's a comeback player of the year?
Maybe. You never know. You could see it. If they can do this against Arsenal, if I'm Liverpool and Brighton and the other boys, I would be kind of scared about this.
Chelsea?
Well, we play them next week, I think.
Oh, do ya?
Yeah, I think it's away as well.
Yep. They play this week coming up, this 30th, Liverpool versus Tottenham at Tottenham Stadium, which I am going to predict right now that Tottenham wins. I'm going with it right now. I'm going 2. I'm going to go 2-1. I'm going to say Son And I'm going to say Kulusevski, and I'll give Liverpool an own goal. They score on an own goal. It'll be off a corner. It'll be really stupid.
I'm going to go with 3-1 because that's all we seem to win by this year. We'll get scored on first and then ride 3 in the second.
Let's see how that holds up for long, because that happened in the Europa League, and no one saw that coming.
That goal was, the last goal was unreal. Like, no one really in the world is saving that goal. I don't know who that guy is, where he come from, but that goal was a rocket of a shot. And then we just pour on 3 at the end. So, I'm cool.
I don't know. Yeah. Liverpool, I don't know what to say about them. They're just...
Why?
I don't know. They're just weird to me.
Szoboszlai and McAllister have been unreal. I think we'll beat them in midfield.
Why is Curtis Jones still playing?
He was good. He was really good. I didn't really have any problems with him.
Yeah,
I would rather have Thiago in that spot, but that
you spend money on
Curtis Jones. Endo's not going to be a starter, I don't think. It doesn't seem like that.
And you brought in Gravenberch.
Yeah, the reason he didn't play, I think that he came on, but the reason he didn't start was he got a cramp last game, so he came out in like 75, which I understand not starting someone like that.
I do know Endo. Remember reading something about saying Endo was a panic buy, so that would make sense if he's not going to play a lot.
Yes and no, I would say. Like, we definitely needed some old heads in the midfield because a lot of our guys are young, but also 18 mil is a bit much, I would say. But we haven't. I can't really hate on the guy. We haven't really given him that much time yet, except for that game against Lask. So I wouldn't say it's a panic buy at the. How do I put this?
Come on, dude. It's not a panic buy. It's
not official that it's a panic buy because he could become
official, but it was, dude. They lost Henderson, they lost Milner, they lost all these. They lost Fabinho. They had zero. They had no one. All they had was McAllister at that point. I think they didn't have Szoboszlai at that point. So they bought Endo, right? Isn't that how it happened?
Yeah, but Klopp had him identified.
But Klopp had him buy a CDM replacement.
They had Szoboszlai and McAllister. They just didn't have anyone else. They didn't have Gravenberch yet.
Well, and the other part of it is we haven't gotten Andre. I think we're still linked to him, but I'd like to see him come in January and fill a role in because I think he'll be a good player.
Fluminense already ruled out. They could bid 50 mil and they're still going to reject it.
I'd like to see that because I'd like to see him right see him.
But fun fact for you. David Moyes, in 72 Premier League games as a manager, has lost 51 games and drawn 21 games against Arsenal, Chelsea, Liverpool, Man U combined.
Yeah, Moyes, he's had a rough patch, against the top teams. I would like to talk about one thing. So, prior to the game on this weekend, Mr. Mikel Antonio thought it would be a good idea to open his big mouth up and start talking about a bunch of nonsense, saying that it's a 6-point game and they're going to finish above us because they won the Conference League, and they got all these new people. Where was that performance against Joel Matip and Virgil van Dijk? I'd like to ask him personally, where did the mouth go from the podcast he was on? If we had him on this podcast, I would ask some tough-hitting questions. But
he's wearing a red jersey right now.
He probably saw the stat that Moyes is not winless in 19 away matches against Liverpool alone.
Also, I would like to say
Sam is at Arsenal right now. So
yeah, their best player is at Arsenal. It definitely would have been a different game.
Okay, but he said this after Rice left. It's not like he said it before the season.
I know, but maybe he wasn't thinking straight.
Yeah, he wasn't. He obviously wasn't. And I would like to say someone that does not get talked about enough, who is played unreal for West Ham, is Lucas Paqueta. Like, literally, if City would have gotten him, dude.
Just give him the trophy now.
Yeah, literally give him. Like, the guy is insane. He starts for Brazil. I get that. But how is he on West Ham? He's probably going to get a move pretty soon because that performance against us, I was like, I've seen him play a bunch of times, but that was honestly one of the best I've seen him play. Probably.
And Jared Bowen. Jared Bowen's been unbelievable this season.
Yeah, he had a nice diving header.
4 goals, 1 assist in 6 games. That's pretty good. And he scored against the likes of Liverpool, City. Like, he scored against the big boys. Like, I'm shocked he hasn't gotten the move yet from from West Ham. But yeah, you're saying Pocket. What? I can't even say his name.
Yeah, that's hard word.
I always want to say Packet.
Just say Lucas.
Lucas Paquette. Oh, I always say Paquette.
Yeah, I don't know how to say it.
We've seen him at a big club before. We've seen him at AC Milan. He sucked. He was terrible. He was like a waste of space when he played for us. And then he moved to Lyon, and he was okay. And then goes to West Ham and just balls out. It's weird. It's a weird guy. Weird.
I think he'll get a move pretty soon. That game, maybe it's to us because Klopp likes to buy people that play well against us. So if we
I can
got
see him
him
at Chelsea in a couple years.
drop 100 mil on him, probably 150.
Probably.
Knowing Bowie, we'll buy someone new. That's the other thing. I forgot to ask you earlier. Like, I know you've already bought like 30 people for Chelsea. You've already done all that $1 billion spending. But if you have the ability to just sign someone now, realistic player, yeah,
Vlahovic.
That's who you would take.
We've been linked to him. You said realistic. Vlahovic. We were linked with him awesome. We were offered Romelu Lukaku and 40 mil to take Vlahovic off their hands, and we said no because we're a bunch of dum-dums. If Abramovich was our owner, we would have had him by now.
Well, you also would have had a lot better players if you had Abramovich, but the guy's a crazy guy. The guy's a crazy guy.
Yeah, we would have had a lot better signings. Yeah, I would admit that. I would rather, outside of personal, as a football owner, Abramovich is one of the best.
You wouldn't have spent 115 on Caicedo either.
Oh, no, we wouldn't. Abramovich would have found the next Ramirez, the next Matic, the next freaking... We would have had Petr Cech running our scout team. Freaking...
Yeah, what is he doing? Okay, that's the real question we need to uncover. What is Petr Cech doing now for Chelsea?
Nothing. He's no longer at the club.
What?
He left the club after Bully came in. Bully did a clear house. He cleaned house. He got rid of everybody. Petr Cech isn't there anymore.
Well, the guy who saved the Super League is no longer employed by Chelsea. That's a pretty sad thing to hear.
The guy that found us our keeper for our Champions League win is no longer there.
Yeah.
Actually, he was there a couple weeks ago during international break when we had the Legends game. So if that counts, he was there.
No, doesn't count.
Okay.
Hey, we beat Bayern Munich. Something Barca hasn't done yet.
Yeah, well, something Madrid they'll lose because they won't finish top of their group.
I think Madrid has beaten Bayern Munich more recently than Barca has.
And Liverpool.
More recent, yeah.
And
we haven't beat Bayern since like 2015, I don't think.
Yeah, we haven't. I think we beat Bayern Munich in 2015, I think.
So, yeah, we won in 2015.
20.
That was when Messi dropped Boateng.
Or then 2016.
Neuer.
I think it was 2016 then.
Yeah, maybe.
No, wait. Yours might have been 17. Yours might have been 16.
We played
17.
them twice.
Yeah, that was
two different competitions.
That was the Vidal red card game. I remember that.
Oh yeah, I do remember that.
I was watching it on my phone before one of my own soccer games, and I was just like,
true.
"What am I watching here? What am I watching?"
Speaking of La Liga, we had some game action over there. We had, like we mentioned, Real Madrid did take their first L to rivals Atletico Madrid. Yes, we did not have Vinny. He was supposed to be back. I think he would have changed the game, but he ended up being sick. There was some controversial starts. I definitely think Jose Lu should have started. I don't think Camavinga should have started. I believe we should have went with Jose Lu, Rodrigo up front, Bellingham behind, Kroos, Valverde, and Modric as your center mids. And then in the back, Fran Garcia definitely should have started. He did start. I don't think Rudiger should have started. I think Trish should have started, to be honest. And then Vasquez, we had no choice due to the fact that Danny Carvajal was injured, which we really needed because he would have shut down that side of Griezmann and Saul. And shocking, Saul got a run, which was unbelievable, weird. Yes. Of course, Real Madrid had 20 shots, 5 on target to Atletico's 10. For 4 on target, we dominated possession with 64% to 36. We just could not finish the ball, which all in all, we don't have a true number 9, which they had 2 on the field in Morata and Griezmann. But is no excuse. We were the better team. We should have won. Once again, we had Mr. Dingus in goal, Kepa Azarbalaga, who really we had De Gea on our plates, but we didn't want to go get him. But I understand why we didn't go for Bona. He would have missed 20 games on a loan, which would make really no sense to buy. It'd be a pointless buy. Yes, we had injuries. We're still missing a few of our players. But you can't go perfect. Like we said, we've only seen a few teams go undefeated, which is really rare in soccer because you're playing so many different competitions. And Atletico, they like to sit back and just play defense the entire game. And then they attack here and there every once in a while. Honestly, I'm shocked that Saul even got a run in the midfield, which was shocking because everybody thinks that Saul was out of the club. Caleb already touched on it that about the game, so we won't dive into that much. But that was my 2 cents on that.
There's one thing I want to bring up though. Once you're finished, are you done?
Oh yeah, I'm done.
Okay, so I remember probably a month or 2 ago we had a podcast and we were talking about some issues that we see arising in Madrid over the season, what problems could happen, and
Yep.
I think so far this game kind of showed what we were talking about. There's just a lack of attackers at the club, and I don't understand why the club size of Madrid, the amount of money that they bring in every single year, and the amount of seats that they're selling now, like they could use someone in January because starting Bellingham and Rodrigo as your 2 strikers, that's not ideal. Because
we started Bellingham because we don't have Vinny.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like you don't like if one of them gets hurt, then you have nobody. Like you said, if you wish Joselu should have started, that's fine. But say you need to change the game and you have nobody on the bench except for who's that one like 17-year-old guy you have, like Alvaro or something?
He's not even on our bench. Wasn't even on the bench.
Yeah, that's the only other attacker I really know that you guys have. Like, you have Brahim Diaz.
Brahim Diaz.
He's not a striker, though. He's more of a cam or a winger. So
we need someone in January. But we're not doing too bad. We have 11 goals for us, and that's
sure. And a lot of them have been Bellingham, but
okay.
Once again, apart from Mbappe, who's the realistic guy for you, Scout? Because I know if I didn't add that in, you would have said it immediately. So,
I would have said Mbappe.
No, obviously, every Madrid fan says it for a certain point in time, and then it changes, and then it's back to the game.
Probably Lautaro wouldn't be a bad shout. Lautaro Martinez out of Inter.
That would be interesting.
We were linked with him for a little bit. Vlahovic was another one. Victor Roque was an option for us, which we didn't pull.
Why don't you just call up? Hendrick? Yeah, why don't you just call him up?
He's not old enough yet to come play with us.
He's 16, I thought.
Yeah, he's 16. He wouldn't be full time. You have to be 17.
Can you do it in January? Is it possible to get him early in January?
No, because he doesn't turn 17 until July.
Oh.
Of next summer. That's why he's not coming.
That is a player that I'm really interested to watch.
But Hendrick plays more on the wing. Hendrick plays more winger for for Palmeiras.
Yeah,
so
but still, I'm interested.
But it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. Mbappe's coming in January on a pre-existing, and he'll be here in July. Well, it's okay. It's okay.
Yeah, are you willing to bet money on it? Are you willing to bet money on it?
No, I'm never willing to bet money on that crap. But he's coming.
I'll ask for Madrid here. I watched the game with Caleb this week. It was only a matter of time. It was only a matter of time until the Bellingham Cinderella story, and the 6
I don't know
goals.
if that's fair to say.
Definitely not
All right,
over.
all right,
He
listen.
scored in the Champions League.
6 goals in 6 games for Bellingham. Are you kidding? Yeah, that was supposed to happen, right, Sam? We planned it that way, right, Sam? No, dude.
Definitely did plan it that way.
No. Vinny goes out. You get lucky that Bellingham scores every single game, a tap and goal. And now that he doesn't score, you lose. And that's kind of what happens. That's what's going to keep happening because you lost Benzema, your best player, and you didn't replace him with anyone. So what's going to happen? Your team's going to get worse. And I told you this right from the beginning of the season, and you guys got lucky because Bellingham would score and your defense was good. So you didn't have to worry about it. But now you play a good team in Atleti, and what happens? Oh, you can't score. That's right.
Technically, we scored 1 goal. Technically, we scored 1 goal. So,
but did it matter though? No.
Oh yeah, no, it really didn't matter. It was 2-0, and then they scored.
You said one. You said we didn't score at all, but
the only thing that I find hard with what Casey said was the Cinderella story. I mean,
yeah, that's
we know Bellingham's a good player. Obviously,
he's a great player, but he's a midfielder. He's not a striker. We know he's a great midfielder, but now that
we do know in the past we've seen him make runs into the box and get goals.
Listen, we've seen him make runs, but he's a box to box. He's a box to box.
We see Cam score.
Okay, box to
box.
Thomas
scored 18
not a striker.
Goals.
He's not a striker. They're playing him up top. Okay,
yeah,
we talked about that earlier. And you expect him to score every game. That's why I'm calling it a Cinderella story because we didn't expect this. Okay, that's why.
Yeah, we didn't. To be honest, we didn't. But hey, we'll take it.
So I don't know who's making some decisions at the top of Madrid right now, but
Perez.
They need to be in question. They need to be in question a little because A, you signed Kepa, and B, you didn't replace Benzema.
Well, we signed Kepa, but it's not like we have to buy him next year. We have no buyout. There's no buyout.
Two out of the 3 goals, you just find Kepa standing there, watching the ball go into the net, which he did consistently for Chelsea. I mean, you watch back all the goals Chelsea got scored on with Kepa in the goal. A lot of them, he's kind of just not ready to save, and he's just standing.
Have to spend a lot of money in the next few years. I mean,
they've saved up.
That's why they haven't bought Mbappe yet, is because they know they're gonna have to get.
They want to do the double. I know they want to do.
They might buy a new left back, and
I know they want to do the.
Need to buy squad depth on the wings. So.
I saw like a triple swoop of Haaland, Davies, and Mbappe in 2024.
Oh God! Stop. What is this? FIFA? Stop! No, that's not happening all in one summer.
Their backup option for Haaland is Julian Alvarez.
God,
but switching gears now, Barca played.
Yep.
Yes, Barca got the dub. We're not gonna take anything away from that. But another game where Barca has to come back from being down to win the game. How many times are we gonna have to see this before it doesn't happen? We can start out with the game. It was a very boring game for the most part. Celta Vigo goes up 1-0 to a Larson goal assisted by our very own Lucas De La Torre to put them up 1-0. And off camera, we were talking about world-class defenders, and Andre Christensen decided to give up the first yellow card of the game. Yeah, okay.
Wow, Sergio Ramos never did that.
Sad news. Sad news for Mr. Frankie De Jong. Only lasted to the 36th minute before coming out. He is out for 5 weeks. Unfortunate. Hopeful for a speedy recovery. Replaced by Gavi to other than 3 minutes later, pick up a yellow card. Good job, Gavi. You're doing great.
He did do great. He played really good, actually.
Ramos 2.0. And then another substitution. They lose Oriol Romeu at halftime due to injury. They bring on Ronaldo Araujo.
Wow, Ronaldo Araujo, bro. Stop.
Ronaldo Araujo.
Stop.
And then they also.
That is one thing I'm happy about.
They also decided. They also decided to throw in Lamina Yamal at left back for Marco Alonso. Wow, good job there, buddy.
Yeah.
And still they're down 0-2. They're still down 1-0. And then in the 60th minute, they decided to sub off Andre Christensen for Alexander Balde, which everybody realized that Lamal could not play left back. Get him out of there. Yeah, decided to sub off that world-class defender. Oh, Andre Christensen. And then later on, Rafinha comes in for Fernan Torres, which honestly Rafinha has looked non-existent for the season. Really haven't seen him do much other than maybe getting sent off every once in a while. Really hasn't done much, to be honest. Four matches, 1 goal, 1 red card. You're doing great, buddy. They decided to keep him over Ousmane Dembele, which Ousmane is struggling in Paris. Their teams are already monitoring Ousmane's situation in January. Then the likes of Arsenal, Chelsea, and yours truly, FC Barcelona.
Never again.
Good moves there, buddy boy.
Are you done, Sam? Are you done?
No, I'm not done yet.
Oh my god.
And then the 76th minute, Celta de Vigo makes it 2-0. I go ass with the assist to some random dude that I can't say his name, which is very hard to say. And then in the 81st minute, Robert Lewandowski pops out from his shadow of non-existence through the entire game to score a goal. The assist by João Felix, who honestly
it was a ridiculous assist too.
Has been your best player.
Scoop pass over the back line.
Has been your best player.
Chips the goalie. Oh my god.
I just want to say your 2 best players are named João. And João Cancelo and João Felix, who have been amazing. João Felix, speaking of João Cancelo, assists for the tying goal in the 85th minute by Robert Lewandowski. And then in the 89th minute, João Cancelo scores on the assist from Gavi. Was kind of given to them due to Dominguez slipping at the end. A nice lucky goal. But in all, they win the game. But how much times are we going to have to see Barca come from behind in a game they should win with the talent around them? How much are we going to see this? Yes, you bring in the likes of João Felix. In hindsight, there is no buy option with João Felix.
We know.
But
they wouldn't be able to afford it anyways.
Atletico did say they wanted at least 90 million for him.
We're not paying that.
And João Cancelo, you have to pay 25 million, which
we will pay.
They do not have.
We will
do
pay
not have.
25. We'll sell anyone for João Cancelo, bro.
Guys, did you guys see the
hold on.
the interview with that? Fine, respond.
Let him respond.
So I will say that this first.
I just want to say my narrating that game was great.
No, dude, you took way too long. That was so dumb, dude. Yeah, it was sad. De Jong went out with injury. He's going to be out till November. He was probably second best player in our squad this season behind Ter Stegen. Yes, Sam, he was, dude. He's
João Felix, João Cancelo.
No, dude.
Yeah, they've been better.
Stop. De Jong,
yeah, they've been better.
João
okay.
Felix only played 3 games, dude. Stop. De Jong has been really steady. Stop, dude. I'll let you talk. All right, Gavi comes in. Okay, yeah, as Sam brings up, he gets a yellow card. But guess what? He's amazing player. He's so technically gifted. He can defend better than anyone else his size, that's for sure. And we bring in Araujo, who's finally back. And he comes back from injury after a few games. Lamine Yamal, the 16-year-old, gets subbed in. You know, he looks unreal too. I don't know how anyone's going to stop him when he is actually, you know, getting into his prime, or when he's Vinny's age, he could be better than Vinny is now, honestly. Balde comes in, for Christensen. Christensen had an okay game, but I would say he's been better than any Real Madrid center back. That's something we talked about on before the show, except for anyone who's injured for Madrid's backline right now, you know. But Rafinha, I will defend Rafinha here. He has been way, way better than Sam made him seem. He's been really consistent throughout this whole season, and although he doesn't have the goals or the assist, it's a lot more to football than goals and assists, and he's created a lot of chances that other Madrid players have not, and Sam gives them credit for. So I will say that. Rafinha comes on 72nd minute, changes the game, along with Lamine Yamal coming on. Lewandowski scores off a beautiful chip in the 81st minute. Felix has just had a great connection with Lewandowski. I know Sam already brought up the buy option, that there is none. It's kind of sad that we probably won't get him next season unless, Felix doesn't, or if he says, I'm only going to play for Barca next season, which he kind of did this season, and he's only getting paid like $400K the whole year for Barca. He took a huge pay cut. He would have gotten like $18 million from Athletic if he played for them, but took $400K from Barca for the whole year. So that's one thing to keep in mind, that he could just next season say, I'm not playing for anyone but Barca. His contract is up in 2027, so he'll be under contract. Athletic will have the final move here, but if we can bring him back, João Cancelo I'm not worried about because I know City will sell him to us. They don't want him. He's got a bad relationship with Pep now, so he won't go back to City. João Cancelo's also been a crazy, crazy good signing for us. You got to remember that Barca, we only spent $3.4 million in the summer transfer window, and we brought in João Felix on a loan, João Cancelo on a loan, and Romeu on a permanent transfer. That is some quality business that a lot of teams, including, I saw a graphic, we played Antwerp and beat them 5-0 in the Champions League. They spent $10 million, we spent $3.4 million, in this transfer window.
You're trying to compare Antwerp to Barcelona
Sam,
right now?
Sam, just let me talk. I'll let you talk.
I wanted to say something as well whenever, so.
Okay, give me one more second. So, Lewandowski scores again in the 85th. He scores 2 goals in 4 minutes. I'm like, is he really going to break his 9-minute hat-trick record at this point? Because he was looking unreal at this point. João Cancelo scores 4 minutes later, off a Gavi assist, which Sam constantly dogs on Gavi as well as the rest of Real Madrid fans, even though, Gavi's one of the best young center mids in the world. Plays a beautiful ball right into the middle, right on the 6-yard box. Cancelo finishes. Sam doesn't give credit for that either. But, we complete the comeback. I would say the big turning point for this is the subs of Rafinha and Lamine Yamal coming in, as well as Rafa taking out Diego Aspas in the 78th minute. That was kind of their biggest mistake because he was their big target man. He created all their chances. And as soon as he went out, they had nothing. They kind of played that Atletico park the bus type, but we could score 3 on that.
That's Rafa. Rafa.
It's Rafa. Rafa's not a good manager.
No. I wouldn't say that. I would say in his worldview, it's kind of shut it down type at a certain point. So
yeah. Well, this game brings us back to where we belong, the top of La Liga, on 16 points over Madrid. So they are back where they belong in 3rd place, and I like it that way. So hopefully it stays that way.
I'd just like to point out, big Barca boy over here forgot someone that they signed, and it shows a level of disrespect, I think, to this level.
You got that too?
I got that. I was like, whoa, okay. I see you.
We signed Gundogan on free.
I see you.
We signed Gundogan on
You're
free.
so in love with the 2
good.
Jows now that you completely forget about Gundogan.
He's been solid, bro. He's been solid. Nothing to say. He's been great. Just what we thought he'd be.
I would say, the guy who was one of the best midfielders in the world for the past couple of years.
Yeah.
Completely forget about entirely. I also would like to point out, I don't know how long this João Cancelo honeymoon goes on for, but I don't know if it's as positive as Casey seems, because next year you're gonna have the same exact problem popping up. And
what about
you might be going for the last dance this year, but I'm not sure if it is going to contribute to that. And speaking of João Cancelo, for our listeners who are on Spotify, I'm sorry you won't be able to see this picture because it might haunt your dreams. But this is João Cancelo after the match. This is João Cancelo after the match. So I just wanted to point that out because when I saw that, he looked like a villain of some sort, an evil
like a
guy.
vampire.
He looked crazy. And I don't know why he tried to do that. thing or whatever, but that was strange. That was really strange.
He's a monster. He's a monster. I think
And we forget that they are paying Indigo Martinez a lot of money not to do it. So
okay.
For a 32-year-old who signed a 2-year deal.
We'll probably just sell him in the summer like we did Kessier. I'm not worried about it. And also one other thing you brought up was the Dembele thing, and I'm so glad that drama is over with. It's so nice to not be in the Dembele show.
Really? You
Let's not lose Dembele.
No, listen, Dembele is an incredible player. He did really well for us, especially the last year or two. But he was a lot of drama. We can all agree on that. It's kind of nice seeing him in PSG and him being bad. And just saying that because we supposedly got finessed over the summer because they paid $50 million for him, but you know he's looked bad for them.
In terms of how much you spend, it is a finesse.
Yes, definitely is.
Well, no, he got injured every season. Come on.
Hey, guys, the best thing about
at least he wasn't Hazard and played 10 games in his whole career.
Casey, would you say that the best thing that Dembele ever did was give Argentina that penalty in the World Cup?
Yes. Yes, definitely, dude. I would take, dude. Oh my god! But if he made that one shot against Liverpool, you know, we were at the Camp Nou.
Oh yeah, when he choked, when Barca choked completely.
Dembele choked.
No, when your whole club choked. Yeah, I remember that.
Dude, Messi. It was a one-man army through Messi, bro, and Dembele choked. He had a wide open goal, but you know, well, that's in the past. And that's
okay.
That's what Madrid fans do. They live in.
It's okay. Wijnaldum owned your club and then denied you.
Wijnaldum, bro.
Wow, that is all from La Liga. Now we switched other games here, notable games. Juve took an L against Al-Sula. They lost 4-2, which was pretty funny. AC Milan got the win 1-0. They played actually. Yunus Musa had a great game playing right back, which was very insane for him. Getting game time at AC Milan is big at a big club, and those are some of the big games in Europe that are notable. And now we transition to the MLS, our favorite competition in the US.
Columbus Crew.
Yep, we've missed 2 weeks, so we're gonna run through them. Notable things that happened. First week we missed. Crew played Chicago Fire on September 20th. It was a 3-minute, or not 3-minute hat. I meant 3 hat trick for Cucho. It was the second fastest hat trick behind Mukhtar's, who I believe did it in, I want to say 3 minutes. I think he did.
I don't know. I'm not sure.
Because Cucho's was what, 6 or something like that. I don't know. Oh, it was in the 8th minute, 16th minute, and 23rd minute. We had 17 shots, 4 on target to Chicago Fire's 8 and 1 on target. They had 33 possession. We looked really good. We did not start Christian Ramirez. We played Rossi through the middle with Matan and Cucho on the wings. Gressel, Nagby, Morris, and Yao Boa played in the midfield. And then Moyer, Camacho, and Edmondson, and Schulte in the goal. We looked pretty good. I was confused why we played Matan because he's not good. He hasn't looked good of late. I'm worried that we're going to play him in one of these playoff games and it's going to hurt us. So hopefully we start our stronger team. I don't know what your guys' takeaways from that game was. Well, I'd love to hear it.
Yeah, so Casey and I were playing in our own game at that point, but I did manage to see the second half, and you know we saw the likes of Cucho, Rossi playing how they want. You know, Matan, yeah, we've talked about this off camera many times. I think that in terms of just work rate and getting open, he's a great player, but on the ball, he needs some work in regards to his passing. We also did see Shaqiri get sent off, which I'm a big fan of Shaqiri's. I always kind of have been. Just, you know, he's built like a brick and he can whip a ball in with his left better than a lot of people. But you could tell on his body language, once they went down 3-0, man, he did not want to be out there. And he's the captain. And it's hard when a player of that quality is, forced to play with a team that is that mediocre, pretty much. I mean, I saw Chicago play when I was in Florida as well, and literally, it's just hard to watch them. Chicago Fire fans, I'm sorry for you because it's a tough team to watch on a consistent basis. I'd say, even though you have Kai Kamara, Shaqiri, you have a couple good players, I guess, but and you lost Gaga to Chelsea, which another thing Chelsea hasn't done, played Gaga one time, which I'd like
He's
to
out
see.
on loan.
You guys should have tried him out at least once, I'd say, so far. But
Yeah.
anyways, back to the Crew game. I would say we got what we deserved in that. We pretty much dominated them, and then it's Chicago Fire. So
Terrible. From that week, other big news around the MLS has to come out of Miami. Inter Miami
always does.
Inter Miami won 4-0, but at a loss. Messi and Jordi Alba exited the game in the first half very early, which is not a good sign, especially if you're an Inter Miami fan. Yes, you got the dub, but you lose probably your most influential player in your team, your captain, and Lionel Messi, who didn't play the next game, which we'll segue there, against Orlando City. The derby is called the Turnpike Derby, if people don't know, which is a very weird name for Orlando and Inter Miami because they're on the Turnpike that you have to take to get to each place. This game was very different. It was a 4-4-2. No Busquets, no Alba, no Messi, and it ends in a tie. Very boring game when I was watching.
It was
very boring.
Other than a few people in Orlando, it wasn't that amazing. I would say, Orlando kind of gave us depression the other day when they came back and beat us. But you got Ojeda and Torres, and those guys are just, like I said, I think I said it on the one podcast. And Gulo, he didn't really have as much to do against us, but Facundo Torres, man, that guy's unreal.
Yeah, we should be happy that Orlando only got a point there because without Messi, Busquets, or Alba, obviously we saw Miami before they all got there. They were the worst team in the league, and they kind of didn't look great against Orlando. But we should be glad that they only got a point because Crew are in third right now in the Eastern Conference. Orlando's in second, and now we are only 2 points back on them. So for second place, so. Hopefully we can get some results, and hopefully Orlando goes down.
Yeah, and I know we clinched already, but I'd like to see Christian Ramirez make a start. Like he hasn't started in a couple games now. I don't know what's going on with that.
Let's go spend all the money on Rossi.
Yeah. Casey, if you're an Inter Miami fan, are you nervous with Lionel Messi not playing due to scar tissue, old scar tissue, and Jordi Alba's muscle problem? They're both day to day, but with crucial matches coming up in the U.S. Open Cup and their season on the line, Tata Martinez has said that it is day-to-day, but he has not spoken to Messi since that match. Are you nervous if you're an Inter Miami fan right now?
I'd say it depends on what your expectations were for the season. I know I'm sure they changed a lot when Messi got there, but I'd say for a lot of people who watched Miami before, they know this isn't that great of a team outside of Messi, Busquets, and Alba. And although Messi makes players like Robert Taylor or others shine, like it's just they're not that great without those. So if Messi's not playing, they're not making the playoffs, and it's just that simple. And even if he does play, there's still a long shot to make the playoffs. I know we talked about it right when he got there. They needed to win like almost every game in order to get into the playoffs, which I don't think they will now.
There are 6 games left. They are 5 points back of 9th place for the last wildcard spot to DC United.
Yeah, but if Messi's not playing, they're not getting those 6 points made up. I don't think so.
What if Alba and Busquets are still there?
Maybe, but is there
possible.
attack? It's possible, yeah, because I mean, Busquets and Messi are the two more important ones. Alba is just a plus there. I mean, obviously he's a great player, but Busquets controls the press. He stops teams from pressing them into oblivion, and Messi controls everything when it comes to going forward on the offensive side. So if you have those two, I could see them making a run, but if they're not playing, they won't win the U.S. Open Cup. They're not going to make the playoffs. It's just that simple to me. And I think a lot of Miami fans feel the same way. And it depends what your expectations were when Messi got there. They knew they were the worst team in the league. They knew that they didn't really have a chance of making the playoffs unless they won every game in spectacular Messi fashion. For me, I wouldn't be too disappointed because you still have Messi for at least another year.
Quick fire question for both of you. There has been reports Luka Modric could be joining Inter Miami in 2024. Yes or no?
Yes. Yes, definitely yes, dude. If Modric goes there, book the title. Book it.
Are you saying will it happen, or was it a good signing?
Will it happen?
No, I don't think it'll happen.
No, I don't think it'll happen. But if he does go there,
he's been linked. He's been linked with.
He was linked
Messi.
to Saudi too, and he denied that as well.
Yeah, but he said no. But that's different.
I mean, it is.
I think that's a little different because he wanted one more year at Madrid. But he's been spotted. He was spotted with David Beckham during the international break. He met with him. There is speculation that they would make a move on Modric. It'd be him or Suarez probably, which everybody knows. Maybe Vidal, but Modric has been linked. Do you think it would happen?
No, I don't think so.
Okay.
I hope it happens, but I don't think it will. I mean, if he goes
I'd like
there,
to see Modric in the
if he goes there, there's just too much quality in that Miami. There already is too much quality in the Miami side. If they had this Miami team from the beginning with Messi, Alba, and Busquets, they would have won the championship. They would have won it. They probably would have been first in the East. And if Messi doesn't get hurt, they win the Supporter Shield, no question. It's just that simple.
Yeah, I agree.
Next year,
we saw it in the League's Cup too. It's like
next year, if Modric goes there, they're gonna do it. That's what's gonna happen. They're too good of players, and Modric, even at 37, 38, he's still playing at an elite level at Real Madrid in La Liga, and he's still probably best or second best in that midfield with all those 50 million plus signings. Like, he's still one of the best. So if he goes to Miami, they're gonna win it. It's just not a question to me.
Yeah. So thanks. Yeah. And then for the Crew, their next game, their last game against FC Dallas was a 1-1 tie. Our only goal came off an own goal from their center back, Nisco Talari, with them scoring in the 43rd minute from Jard Corlin. The only two starters that weren't in as our usual starters, Zawadzki started over Nagby, and Matan started over Christian Ramirez, which both of those boys came on in the second half. Our only two subs of the game. With that game, yes, we were away. We are not good away. Are you boys nervous if we have to start our playoff run away from lowerfield.com?
I don't think we will. We're in third place. So I think we'll be fine starting out wise, but later on it might be tough for us. Because I think, aren't some of the playoffs best of 3 now?
Nope.
Nope, maybe.
They're all single game eliminations they're all single game eliminations.
So yeah, we gotta turn up when we play away, and when we play at LDC, it's just the atmosphere is unreal, and we sell out pretty much every game. I think apart of the last 15 games or something, it's been sellouts apart from that Minnesota game where pretty much nobody was there. But with those League Cup games, people kind of just came as they went. You know, it wasn't like if they were announced, they weren't really huge sellouts. But I'd say if we managed to get I'm trying to think a lower team at home, I think we'll smoke them. But if we play against FCC or or New England or Orlando away, that's not a good situation for us.
Right now, we'd play New England away, or we'd play New England at home if playoffs started today.
Yeah.
So,
But the problem is, for me personally, I don't see us staying in third place. We are in a 3 or 4-way tie with 3 other teams for third place right now. Us, Philadelphia, Atlanta, and New England. We could be in 6 by the time it ends. Like, we don't know where we could be. That's the problem. We're tied with 3 other quality teams who I believe have an easier schedule finishing the season than we do.
Yeah.
I know we still have to play Philadelphia and New England, but we've already played Atlanta United, and we still have to play Montreal, and Montreal is in 8th. So they're close, and so is Nashville. Nashville's only 6 points behind us, which they can make a comeback.
I see us beating Montreal and New England. Philadelphia is going to be a tough one, I'd say.
Our next 2 games are Columbus versus Philadelphia.
Yeah,
Columbus versus New England.
Which I think we got that one.
And Columbus versus Atlanta United. So we have to play all three teams that are all tied with us. We have to play all 3 of them. Then play Montreal on the last day. Away. Actually, we will be home against Montreal, but I believe
we're home with Philadelphia, and we're home against Montreal, but we're away in New England, like Caleb said, is kind of a nightmare. And same with Atlanta. We all know their stadium. So
yeah, I don't like that. Which we gave them a pounding at the beginning of the season. They might be looking for revenge. I'm not excited. I'm excited, of course, to watch Screw. I'm always excited, but when it's away, I have a sense of nervousness every single time, as we saw with the Orlando game. I was furious. About that game, and it was like, do we bring back Caleb Porter? Did we bring him back? Which I believe we. It looked like he was at the place that Casey and I play at for indoor. It looked like him, but I'm not 100%. I'm like 95% sure it was him.
There was some dude that looks like Caleb Porter at the indoor soccer place.
And he goes, "Oh, that's Caleb Porter."
But he
turns to me. He goes, "Is that Caleb Porter?"
but the thing is, it was for the Scalotto's club. So,
but it's not like
Scalotto. Well, I'm just saying, a former crew going to that club, it's very possible. For those listeners that don't know, there's a youth club team where 2 former crew players created it, and that's what we're talking about. It might have been Caleb Porter, not entirely sure. So,
my question to you guys is, would you want to see a Hell is Real Eastern Conference final showdown? Would you want to see that?
Over any other team, I mean, maybe.
Where are we playing? We'd be playing.
Yeah, I was about to say, we would play at their place.
We would have to play at their place because there's no way they have 62 points. That's the most in MLS. We're not catching. No one's catching.
I wouldn't want to see it just because I don't want to play away. But I would.
We've
play
had success at FCC before.
We have had success at their stadium.
We've had success at their
Not
stadium.
last game,
It
but
makes me
prior.
nervous, dude. Away in the playoffs, dude. Away in the playoffs. I would love to go.
Wouldn't that be the ultimate pinnacle to say we are the best team in Ohio? We are the big dogs. They are the little brothers.
Or if we just win and they lose in the playoffs and we don't have to play them to do it, that would be better, don't you think? And not take the chance for the humiliation in Cincinnati.
But I'd rather go up against a team that I know we have a better chance of winning against some of these other boys. Like I'm scared against Philadelphia. I'm scared against Orlando, what they did to us. Atlanta United is always a dark horse. Nashville has had our number over the last couple of years. New England, due with their coaching problems, they're still a really good team. If Inter Miami gets into this somehow, I don't want to play them. Which they won't. I'd rather play DC United with Wayne Rooney because he doesn't know what he's doing.
No, I'd like to see us play against them. I think it'd be interesting.
I would love it. I think it would be a great game. It's a great hype. You got the best offense versus probably one of the best defensive teams in the league right now. I believe in the Eastern Conference, they're like the second least conceding other than Nashville. I don't know about in the West. But it'd be defense versus offense. We have the best offense, which honestly, hasn't lost a step yet. I would love to see that. I think we could do it.
Which also, one thing that we haven't brought up yet, Cucho got a downgrade in EA 24. How is that possible? How is that possible? The guy comes in and he's unreal for our team and he gets downgraded. I don't understand that.
It kind of makes sense.
He
Why?
didn't score as many goals, did he?
Yeah, he didn't score many goals.
He's still one of the best players in MLS, and it's not.
Yeah, he's really good, but like
He wasn't an all-star either.
yeah, it was pretty much 13 goals and 7 assists. That's good.
Had he made the run that he did recently at the beginning of the season, he would have made All-Star and he would have gotten up.
Also, I think he's been doing better because he doesn't have Lucas around.
Really?
Yeah,
That's a hot take, I'd say.
guess.
because I think
More goals maybe, but the ball's at his foot more. Like he's
exactly. He's now more of the focal point of the offense, of the counterattacks. Because when we would go on a counter, we wouldn't say give the ball to Cucho. We say give the ball to Lucas. Now we give it to Cucho. He has more confidence. He's more. He can create more because he has more of that.
It's
confidence
his team, yeah.
Like he said, it's his team. It's not Lucas Zellerion's team anymore. It's Cucho's team, which I think is honestly better for him because he's the main man. It's not Diego Rossi. It's not Christian Ramirez. It's not Nagby's team. It's Cucho's team. But that's just me.
All right, I think that's all we had planned for tonight. Any final thoughts, guys?
Who does crew play this week?
Is it Philadelphia?
Philadelphia, yeah.
Is it Philadelphia?
On Saturday.
You sure?
7:30, Philadelphia.
Ooh.
I'm nervous now. I mean, after we clinched, I was like, all right, we're good. We could just, go about our business, just play games. So then I'm like, wait, we have to actually keep winning games. We have to
we have to win. We have to be at home.
Title.
That's why.
Yeah. We are at
so
home
bad
against
away.
Philly. Hey, projected win probably they have us at 52 and they have Philadelphia at 24. But
you never know.
Never know, especially if those boys are healthy.
Also, I'd like to shout out Crew 2. Great goal by Abdi Mohammed. Saw it on Twitter. It was an unreal goal. That's my ending statement.
Of course it is.
He showed me the goal. It was pretty sick. But yeah.
He's a right back. He's unreal.
Yeah. Well, I know we didn't get to hit on everything. I know we didn't really talk about the Champions League games that happened over the course of the week, but it is only the group stages. We'll probably dive more into it once, probably the last week of the group stages and then into the knockout rounds because that's where it'll pick up. That's when we'll pick it up from where the teams that we know are probably the favorites wean out the losers. My only thing is I'm hoping Sevilla doesn't make it out of the group, makes it third, goes to Europa League, wins Europa League.
This is his dream. He's been talking about it nonstop.
That's my dream.
He's been talking about it nonstop. Why isn't your dream just for them to win the Champions League at that point, huh?
Because they're not the kings of the Champions League. They're the kings of Europa League. And they have the best winner of all time on their team in Sergio Ramos.
Yeah, you're forgetting the finals in Dublin, where a huge swath of Liverpool fans are. So
and they're not going to make it there.
We'll see.
Because Dortmund's going to find a way to lose their group stage. They'll be in the Europa League, and they'll play Liverpool, and they'll lose.
You're going to play some good teams in the Europa League.
Yeah.
If we get first, we won't have to play those teams that drop down. So.
Not like the way you played against that Belgium team in the first half. You guys look
They're
terrible.
from Austria. And
whatever, same thing. Close enough. Belgium, Austria, they're close enough in geographical areas.
Kind of, yeah.
They're both in Europe. That's all I got to say. They're both in Europe.
I see us top in the group, and if you guys disagree, I don't know. You might need to research these teams a little more.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see.
All right, guys. I think that's it for tonight. Thank you all for listening. Make sure to subscribe on YouTube and follow us on Spotify. Give us a like and comment down below about your takes about the topics that we talked about. The hour and 30-minute episode talking about soccer and everything. But Yeah.
Yep.
Anything final, guys?
Yeah. So special coming out. Our next soccer episode, we'll release our normal episode, and we'll also be bringing a special bonus because I did mention it on the last podcast we did. That was technically supposed to be this one, but we're going to change it. The debate between the brothers. Liverpool, Barcelona. I will be the mediator, and they will tell me who and why is their club the better team.
The only thing he's going to say is, "Oh, we beat you last."
Okay, save it for later. Save it for later. And that being said, we will be releasing NBA content soon. We're getting closer to the date. I believe they start in
Training camp,
October.
Media days this week.
Media day, we'll probably cover that this coming weekend. I am free this weekend, so I will have time to do that. We'll also have my NFL podcast coming out after the Monday night games tonight, and then my recap of NCAA from this last weekend. Don't miss it. Be hitting some big topics, big shakeup in the top 25. Maybe bring on a guest or two for one of those. And then, like we said, basketball will start soon. So look out for that. Keep up with all the news and stuff on Spotify and YouTube. And then comment in our videos and in our social media if you want us to talk about certain topics, certain players, what debates we want to have. Just let us know. We'll try to bring it to you guys. Caleb has one thing before we leave.
I'd just like to point out my Steelers, they won against the Browns the other day, and I have it written down. Sam picked the Browns. Rough pick there, Sam. What are your thoughts on that?
Unlucky.
Very unlucky.
Yeah, why don't you go on the NFL pod with Sam and talk about it?
Probably should. Yeah,
probably will. We'll break down last week's games and this week's games that just happened, and then same thing. College football. Big shakeup. Can't wait.
I will like to say, Sam, you predicted the correct thing with the Ohio State game. I was biting my nails the entire game, nervous about what was going to happen because Notre Dame fans are very loud, and especially on Twitter.
I did say 7 or less points. You're both top 5 defenses in college football right now. It's going to be low scoring.
Yeah,
just what it is. It's going to pretty much like I mentioned. It's pretty much whoever had the ball the last 2 minutes.
Well, the spread was only 3.5 for the game, so it was 3-point difference.
And I pretty much said it on the podcast.
You made a perfect prediction.
Perfect. And I also called the Oregon game. Bye-bye, Dion. I'll talk about him soon. Well, boys.
I love that Oregon coach, how he was like, they were fighting for clicks, we're fighting for wins. That was awesome.
That was a great thing to say. Well, you'll hear all of our comments and our takes on all of those in our other episodes. And we'll see you guys back here next week. Peace.
Peace.